Good morning again. Okay, so this is the second half of the lecture on the invalidity of juristic acts. But we will talk about invalidity on the grounds of improper will, okay, or the vitiation of will when the will of the party is vitiated for some reason, okay. So let me just begin the lecture right now, okay. Good morning again. Good morning. Okay, so this is the second half of the lecture on the invalidity of juristic acts on the grounds of the impropriety or vitiation of will. All right. Of course, when we talk about the situations in which a juristic act in question will become invalid, okay, on the grounds of impropriety or vitiation of wills, okay, this seem to require a lot of explanation, okay, so I'm not quite sure whether I can just finish, okay, everything within a period of about 1 hour, so that's why I try to split into part 1 and part 2. This morning we will look at, okay, some situations among situations which are which are addressed by the law, right? So to make sure you know where we are now, okay, remember we talk about causes of invalidity of a juristic act, okay, and to bring you back to this slide, okay, in order for you to have a full glimpse of causes of invalidity, okay, remember we have in a way talk about the invalidity which is caused by lack of capacity, and we also talk about the invalidity on the ground of an object, okay, sometimes the object seem to have a problem, okay, and we have also talked about the invalidity which emerges from non-compliance with the form prescribed by law, okay, so these three causes of invalidity have been discussed by us, okay, so this lecture is going to be dedicated to our discussion of impropriety or vitiation of will. Impropriety or vitiation of will may render a juristic act in question to be void or to be voidable as the case may be. Okay, so this is why a juristic act in question will become invalid. Okay, invalid because the will of the party is improper or is vitiated in some way. Okay, so remember that a juristic act is made. Okay, it is made out of what? Out of genuine and free will. The will of the party must be genuine and must be free. Okay, so if you can still remember the crucial or the essential elements of a juristic act, okay, the elements of juristic act which are addressed by section 149 of the Civil and Commercial Code, you can see that the one of which is what? One of which is the voluntariness, okay, the will must be free, okay. So a juristic act must be a product of, a voluntary will. Okay, the will must be genuine and free. Okay, so there must be, okay, there may be some situations in which a will of the parties might not be genuine or might not be free in some, in some way. So that in that case, a juristic act in question might not be given, the full legal effect. Okay, just now I have mentioned, okay, the essential elements of a juristic act. Remember, according to section 149, if you go back to 149, a juristic act means an act which is performed lawfully and voluntarily for the immediate purpose of establishing legal relations between persons with a will to creating, modifying, transferring, preserving, or extinguishing rights. Okay, you can see that one of the elements is voluntariness. Okay, so that's why I have said and that in order for a juristic act to be formed, we have to make sure that the will of the party is the voluntary will. It is a genuine will and it is also free will. Okay, so in some situations the will of the party may not be genuine, or in some situations the will of the party might not be free. Okay, so that the law in the most countries, including in this country, okay, has some principles which make sure that the will of the party is genuine and is free. Okay, so if the will is not genuine or is not free, okay, the juristic act in question may be void or may be voidable. In some cases it will be void. In some cases it will be voidable. Okay, but in just only in the exceptional cases, the law just realizes that, okay, even though that normally a juristic act which is made in the situation where the will of the party is not genuine or is not that it is not free, normally it should be void or voidable. But in some exceptional cases, okay, the law also feels the need to protect maybe the other party, or sometimes the law also has some concerns for the third party as well, so that even though that there is something which makes the will of the party not genuine or not free, the law gives legal effect to that juristic act, okay, for the purpose of protecting the other party or the third party. But those are just the exceptional cases. Okay, so we will begin with the cases in general, right? So remember, the will of the party must be genuine and must be also free. In some situations, the will of the party might not be genuine or might not be free. Thai law, in our CCC, okay, addresses indeed many situations or many scenarios, okay, involving the will of the party which is not genuine or which is not free. Okay, so here are situations which are addressed by our civil and commercial code. Okay, in the first one, in the first case, okay, it is a case which is concerned with hidden intention. A hidden intention, this means that the intention of the party is hidden. The real intention of the party is hidden. Okay, so it is not the real intent. What is expressed, okay, it is not the real intention. The real one is just hidden. Okay, so this is the first scenario. We will come to this one shortly. Okay, the second scenario, it is the situation known as a fictitious intention. Okay, in Thai we call this one เจตนาลวง. For the first one, okay, back to the first one, the hidden intention in Thai we call that one เจตนาซ่อนเร้น. Okay, so the third one, it is still a fictitious intention, but it is the one which is made in order to conceal another juristic act. Okay, it involves, okay, in fact, this case involves two juristic acts, juristic act number 1 and a juristic act number 2. The juristic act number 1, it is made in order to conceal the juristic act number 2. Okay, in this situation we call, okay, this situation in Thai, the situation involving เจตนาอำพราง Okay, the third one, it is the case of fraud. Sorry, the fourth one, it is a case of fraud. Okay, the juristic act in question, it is procured by fraud. In Thai we call this one คนช่อชน. Okay, and the further one, it is the situation where the juristic act in question, it is made under duress, การข่มขู่. Okay, and the last one, which is addressed by Thai law, it is the case of a mistake, ความสำคัญผิด. Okay, In these cases, a juristic in question, okay, might not be given legal effect. As I have mentioned, okay, in some cases, the juristic in question will become void. In some cases, the juristic in question will become voidable, okay. So we split into, for the purpose of our exposition, we split into part 1 and part 2. Now, okay, we are embarking on the part 1, okay. In part 1, we will talk about, the cases involving a hidden intention, okay, the cases involving a fictitious intention, the cases involving, the fictitious intention, which is aimed at concealing another juristic act, okay. I think that it will require about an hour at least, okay, to finish all these 3 cases, okay. Now, beginning with the first one, okay, the case which is concerned with a hidden intention or เจตนาซ่อนเร้น okay. As the name suggests, okay, the hidden intention, that means that the intention is hidden. The real intention is hidden. Okay, so that what is expressed, what is manifested, okay, it is not the real intention. It is not the genuine intention. In fact, the party does not have, the genuine intention. They just pretend to, make that juristic act, for some reason, okay. So, in fact, in the case which is known as, the hidden intention, okay, there is a conflict between 2 intentions. The first one is an inward intention, and the second one is an outward intention. Okay, I think that for simplicity, we may have a look at, this, the picture. Let's suppose that, we have A and B. Let's suppose that A, he is the one who tried to show off his wealth. In fact, he is not wealthy at all. But he pretends to be wealthy, okay. He has a girlfriend. Let's suppose that C is A's girlfriend. And A, he wants to show to the girlfriend that he is rich. In fact, he is not rich. He is from, the family that is not rich at all, okay. So, he tried to just give a false impression to his girlfriend that he is rich. So on a good day, he just pretends to make a phone call to B. B run, the jewelry shop. Okay, let's say that B run the jewelry shop in the Salem Road. Okay, so A made a phone call to B to pretend to buy, this diamond locket. In fact, in his mind, he does not want to buy this diamond locket at all. He just pretend to make phone call, okay, so that the girlfriend can hear his conversation, okay. He just want to create a false impression to the girlfriend that he is rich, so that when he made a phone call to B, telling me that that A wants to buy the very expensive diamond locket, and okay, B agreed to sell. You can see that in A's mind he does not want to buy at all. So this is his inward intention. In his mind, he does not want to buy at all, but he wants to just to manifest an intention to other people, including the girlfriend, that he wants to buy this one. Right. So our intention is buying. Our intention is an intention to buy this diamond locket. But in his mind, okay, if we talk about an inward intention, he does not want to buy this diamond locket at all. Right. So the real intention, okay, the intention not to buy this locket, it is hidden in his mind, in his heart. Right, so who can know his mind? Nobody knows his mind. Okay, so in fact, A, in this case, he does not have any genuine intention to buy this diamond locket at all. Right, so in a way, we call this situation as, the situation of a hidden intention. The real intention is just hidden. So in this case, what does the law say? Which intention prevails? Remember, we have 2 intentions. The inward intention the inward intention and the outward intention, which one prevail? Can A say this and say, well, sorry, B, even though, I have pretended, to buy this diamond locket from you, but I just meant I did that just in order to just show to my girlfriend that I'm rich. In fact, I do not want to buy this at all. Even now, I do not want to buy it. So forget about this contract. Right. Can he say so? If he says so, that means that he wants to insist upon what is in his mind. He wants to, he wants to just give the importance to the inward intention. So now coming to the question, which intention prevails? In this case, of course, we have A and B. If we say that, the inward intention should prevail, that means that A is going to have the benefit from this conclusion. But if we say that our intention should prevail, that means that we are trying to protect B, who might not know what is in A's mind. Right. So now, what is going to be addressed by law? Which intention prevails? The answer is in Thai law. If you look at what is provided in section 154 of the Civil and Commercial Code, you will see that Thai law adheres to an outward intention. With regard to this case, the reason why Thai law places an emphasis on, places importance to an outward intention is in order to protect the receiver of the intention. The receiver of the intention in this case B, he might not know anything about what is in A's mind. If the law allows A to just escape contractual obligations by saying that in his mind he does not want to buy at all, then what is going to be the harm caused to B? Right, B will be victimized by the hidden intention on the part of A in this case. That's why when the law realizes that sometimes B may not know anything about what is in A's mind, then B should be protected by law. Right. Section 154 therefore protects B by saying that the inward intention will not count in this case. A will have to be bound by his outward intention. A must be bound by his outward intention. This is also in addition to protecting B, it is also an attempt to promote certainty in trade or in the transaction. Because if the law allows A to just escape contractual liability, right, then trade will be ruined, because the contract can be the contract or the juristic act can be just come round by the argument that sorry, I do not have intention to do so. In my mind, I do not have such intention. Then if the law just allows this to happen, if the law allows this to stand, then it is going to be, it is going to cause negative or the adverse effects on the transactions or trade very much. So that's why section 154 provides as follows: a declaration of any intention, although the declarer does not intend to be bound by the inward intention so declared, does not render such intention to be void. That means that the law does not allow a juristic act between A and B to be void in this fashion. The law, if we get back to this situation, if you get back to this picture, we can see that what the law in section 154 say is that, well, even though in A's mind A does not have any intention to buy, but A will have to be bound by his by his outward intention. A cannot just argue that well, in his mind, he does not want to do so. So section 150 say that, even though A, as the declarer of the intention, does not intend to be bound by the inward intention, but he must be bound by that intention. Okay, the contract or the juristic act cannot be allowed, to be void just on the ground that in his mind, in A's mind, in the mind of the declarer of the intention, the declarer does not have such intention. Okay, so this is again, to be fair to the receiver of the intention, and it is also an attempt to promote certainty in the trade or in the transactions concerned. Okay, so we can see from section 150 that an inward intention will be ignored, and the party will have to be bound by the outward intention, with respect to a hidden intention. Okay, well, as the rationale of holding, if we come back to this picture, the rationale for holding A, the declarer of the intention, to his our intention, is to, of course, to protect the other party. It is to protect the receiver of the intention. We now have a question. What about when the receiver of the intention? Let's say that. What about if in this case, if B knows about what is in A's mind, even though A pretends to make phone call to B, when in his mind he does not want to buy the diamond ring, the diamond locket at all. But supposing that B, he knows very well what is in A's mind. Right. Maybe B is just A's close friend, and B knows very well that it is impossible that A can afford the price, the very very high price. Okay, so B may just guess that A does so just to just create a false impression as to his wealth. He just wants to show off to his girlfriend that he's rich. If B knows this, is there any more reason to protect B as the receiver of the intention? The answer is no. Right. If B, the receiver of the intention, knows about what is in A's mind, if the receiver of the intention knows about the inward intention of the declarer of the intention, then the law will not protect the receiver of the intention anymore. That is why if you look at the final part of section 150, the final part of section 150 say this. Unless the other party has the knowledge of the hidden intention of the declarer. That means that, the juristic act between the party will be void. Will not be void. Will not be void unless the other party knows about what is in the declarer's mind. If the receiver of the intention knows about the real intention of the declarer, then the juristic act will be just void. So we can just come to the conclusion that from this example, if we come back to this example here, we have to distinguish between the situation where B does not know about A's hidden intention. B does not know about what is in A's mind. If B does not know anything about what is in A's mind, so this juristic act between A and B will not be void. It will be upheld. But if B knows about what is in A's mind, there is no more reason to protect B. In this case, the juristic act, in this case, the sale agreement, between A and B will be just void. Right, so the reason seems to be very, very straightforward, I think, Right. Now, let's look at another example. In the example number 2, In the example number 2, which is again concerned with a hidden intention, okay, let's suppose that we have A and B again. A, he also has his girlfriend. He wants to go on tour, maybe on holiday. He wants to go on holiday with his girlfriend for about 10 days. And he needs a very luxurious car. Let's say that he wants to have, a Ferrari car, okay, to go on tour, to go on a holiday with a girlfriend. He knows that, well, B has one Ferrari car. If A borrows this car from B, B will not be willing to, to let A borrow this car. Right. So A just come up with this plan. A said, well, okay, I am A here, okay. I just pretend to buy the car from B. Okay, so I pretend to buy a car from B. I pretend to make a contract, okay, whereby I purchase the car from B, and I can just tell B, well, B, right, the money will be ready in 2 weeks' time. Can you just let me have a car first? Okay, and then I will pay you in the fortnight time. I mean, I will pay you after 2 weeks, right? So we agree. When A has this car, he just used the car, for the tour, for the holiday, okay, together with his girlfriend. So he just spent 10 days with his girlfriend. After that, he just come back. He came back to B. When he just came back, he just told me that, well, B, well, I now want to return you this car. Yes, I mean, I had told you that I wanted to buy this car, but in fact, in my mind, I did not have such intention. The intention which I, declared to you, that is not the real one. What has been in my mind is that I have never wanted to buy this car. I wanted just to have this car, I wanted to use this car for a 10-day vacation together with my girlfriend. So now I have come back. I want to return this car to you. Right. This is my real intention. My real intention is that I never wanted to buy this car. Right. So the sale agreement between you and me, it is not real. I pretended to enter into a sale agreement. Okay. I have a hidden intention. So in this case, okay, again, there is a conflict. In fact, there is a conflict between an inward intention and our intention, okay? An inward intention is just that A has never wanted to buy this car. The outward intention is that A wanted to buy this car. He pretended, okay, he just manifested his intention to be that he wanted to buy this car, but what is in his mind is that he never wanted to buy this car. As we have seen, from section 152, remember, going back to 152 say that, well, an inward intention does not count. A juristic act will not be allowed to be void, even though in his mind A had an inward intention to the fact that he did not want to buy. Okay, A would not be allowed by section 154 to escape this contractual liability, right? So in this case, the sale between A and B here, it is not void. Right? A cannot just rely on his inward intention, okay, in order to claim that the sale agreement between A and B has become void on the ground that, okay, in his mind A does not have the intention to buy this car. Okay, so the juristic act, in this case, the sale agreement between A and B will just be valid. Okay, if B does not know anything about the A's real intention. If B does not know A's hidden intention, but if B knows about A's hidden intention, if B know that, well, in fact, A has never wanted to buy this car, he just wanted to use this car for a 10-day holiday vacation with his girlfriend. If B know this, then there is no more reason to predict B. In that case, okay, the final part of section 1 5 say that, okay, the juristic act will be void, right? So again, if we encounter, if we come across situation like this, situation involving a hidden intention, okay, we have to distinguish between the situation where the receiver of the intention knows about the inward intention of the first party. If the receiver of the intention did not know anything about the inward intention of the other party, then the juristic act will not be void. But if the receiver of the intention knows about what is in the declarers of intentions, okay, mind, if the receivers of the intention knows that the declarer of intention did not intend to do so, in that case, the juristic act between the declarer and the receiver of the declarer of the intention will simply be void, right? So we have to distinguish between the two cases like this, right? So the first situation seemed to be very straightforward, and I think that the reasons seem to be quite clear, right? It seems to be quite clear that what is in your mind is unknown to anyone. Normally, it's not known to other people. Okay, so that if you are allowed by law to rely on what is in your mind, even though what is in your mind, even though what is expressed to the other party is not the real intention. Okay, if the law allows you to stick to what is in your mind, then it will simply be unfair to the receiver of the intention. So that in that case, the law does not allow the declarer of the intention to escape, liability by saying that, okay, in his mind, his inward intention, okay, is something else, right? So now we are coming to the second situation. The second situation, it is known as a fictitious intention, or in Thai, เจตนาลวง. You may begin to get confused with the first situation. Remember when we talk about the hidden intention, okay? You may say, well, the hidden intention doesn't mean that it is an intention which is not real. What is in A's mind is not. Okay, sorry. What is expressed by A is not real, so it is also fictitious. Fictitious mean what? Mean fake. So when we talk about, the first situation, we can get a feeling that, well, it is also concerned with a fake intention, okay, in a way. So what is different between the first one? What is the difference between the case of a hidden intention and the case of a fictitious intention? The answer is that, well, there is something different. Okay, let me just have a check on the screen first to make sure that everything is fine, okay? Because if there is any problem, okay, without my knowledge, then it will be obvious. Now, according to my iPhone, which is being used for recording my lecture, it is fine. Now, half an hour has passed, okay, so, and Facebook Live is also fine. I get the names of many people now, okay. For instance, Puripat, Seinun Kao, very good, okay. Puripat, you are also a very, very good student, okay. That I always see your name on the screen, okay. That means that you are never absent, okay. Every time when I give a lecture, I see your name, okay, in this online classroom. Very good. Now, remember, I'm trying to just say that with respect to the situation involving a fictitious intention, right? There is something additional to what we see in the first situation of a hidden intention. Okay, what is additional is this. Okay, in the case of a fictitious intention, okay, there must be the connivance of the other party. That means that in this situation where A declares his intention to B, even though what is in A's mind is not, okay, it is not what is in A mind, okay, that is not real. A just pretend to do something. Okay. No. What is in A mind, okay, is something else. He just want to declare an intention, okay, to say that he want to do something, but in fact, what is in A mind is something else. Okay. He does not want to be bound by what? He does not want to be bound by the intention which is declared. Okay. What is in A mind is something else. But the thing is that when he, in this case A, declares this intention to B, B knows very well about what is in A mind. B, okay, enter into sort of the conspiracy with A. So B, B connives at A's declaration of intention, okay. A and B, they get together, okay. A pretends to do something with B. In fact, in his mind, he does not want to do that. He just pretends to do that. He pretends to just, they enter into a juristic act with B. And B knows very well that in A's mind, he does not want to do so. B knows very well, but B, okay, connives at that. Okay, B entered into sort of conspiracy together with A. Okay, this is to deceive somebody else. Okay, so you can just look at this picture. We have A, B, and C. A and B, they make, let's say, a contract. In A's mind, A does not want to make this contract. Okay, but A declares an intention, okay, to make this contract with B, and B knows very well that in A's mind, A does not want to do that. A does not want to make this contract. A does not want to enter this juristic act with B, but B connived at this activity by A. Right. This is to allow A to deceive somebody else, in this case to deceive C. Let's suppose that A, he is what? A, he owes C a large sum of money. Let's suppose that A has borrowed money from C and A has not repaid C yet. So in this case, when C is the creditor, right? A is the debtor. You should know that, if the debtor, A, in this case, does not pay the debt, then C can demand, payment from A. If A does not have money, but A has some property, okay, let's suppose that A had this car, okay, C can just demand B, okay, to pay the debt. C can just forces A, the debtor, okay, to pay the debt out of A's car, even though A does not have cash, A does not have money, but A had this car. C can just enforce the debt, okay, out of A's car. So if A has a car, A will run the risk of the car being what? Being the sold, okay, in order to get the money to pay C. Right. So the A does not want to do this. A does not want to lose this car. So that's why A pretends to sell this car to B. Maybe A and B, they are close friends. A told B that, well, B, you just pretend to buy the car from me. I pretend to sell the car to you, and you also pretend to buy the car from me. I just want to deceive everyone, including C, that the car now is no longer mine. The car now is your car. The car now is B's car. If the car is B's car, then the C, who is a creditor, cannot just enforce the debt out of this car anymore, because the creditor can enforce the debt only out of the property of the debtor. If the car belongs to B, then the creditor cannot just enforce the debt out of any other person's property. So in a way, the sale which is made between A and B, it is just the fake sale, the fictitious sale. So we just have we have the fictitious intention. A pretends to declare intention to buy the car from B, even though in his mind, what is in his mind, if we talk about an inward intention, A does not want to sell this car to B at all. This is just the pretense, right? So in this case, we have a juristic act between A and B. In this case, the sale agreement, a contract of sale. Okay, is this juristic act void? Right. This is a case of the fictitious intention or เจตนาลวง. Remember, in this case, given that B, the receiver of the intention, knows very well about what is in the minds of the declarer of the intention. B knows very well what is in A's mind. B knows that in fact A does not want to buy this car. Right. So when B knows this and B try to help A, B connives at A's declaration of an intention. So when B connives at this act as well, there is no reason to protect B. The two parties, both A and B, they know that the intention declared by A to buy this car, it is not the real one, it is just fictitious. So that when both parties knows this, there is no reason for upholding the juristic act. So that the juristic act between A and B here must be what? Must be void. So when there is the conflict between an inward intention and the outward intention, in this situation, the law adheres to what? The law adheres to an inward intention. What is actually intended? The real intention is not buying. Not buying or not selling the car to B, from A to B. Right. Now, in the case of a hidden intention, remember, just now before this case, when we talk about a hidden intention, we have seen that the law adhere to what? The law adhere to, the our intention in order to protect the receiver of the intention. But in the case of the fictitious intention, given that the two parties, they know very well about what is the real intention, there is no reason in any way to protect the receiver of the intention. That's why in this case, the law just resort to what? The law just, the places importance to an inward intention. What is really, what is generally intended. So in the mind of A, in A's mind, he has never wanted to sell this car to B, so that the law just holds A to the inward intention, so that when the inward intention is that he has no intention to sell, that means that there is no sale. The juristic act between A and B here will therefore become void. See, so this is what? This is addressed by section 155, paragraph 1. Remember the important things is the connivance, connivance between two parties. the connivance between two parties, between the declarer of the intention and the receiver of the intention. Okay, so now let's have a look at what the law says. The law says this in the section 155, okay, 155, paragraph 1, okay, which provides as follows. The declarer of a fictitious intention, the declaration of a fictitious intention with the connivance of the other party is void. See that I try to just focus on the first part of the second phase. I mean, there is also the second part. We will come to the second part later, but now we focus on the first part of this, of the second phase, right? So when, as I have mentioned, okay, when it is apparent that there is, some connivance between the party, there is no reason for upholding the contract or the juristic act between the parties. In this case, if we are back to, the case just now, the case where A pretended to sell the car to B, with B's connivance, in order to deceive C, who is A's creditor, that the car now is earned by B. Right. In this case, the law say that simply because there is the connivance between the parties, the juristic act between A and B here will be void. Okay. So when it is void, we have to treat that there is no such sale. When there is no such sale, this means that this car is still A's car, not B's car. This car is still A's car, not B's car. So when it is still A's car, C, the creditor, can just enforce the debt out of A's car. Right. So again, when the rationale behind the law seems to be very, very understandable, it is very straightforward. Okay. But sometimes, even though the juristic act between the parties, in this back to the example just now, even though the sale agreement, even though a contract of sale between A and B is void, it is invalidity. Right. But sometimes the law may just protect a third party. Right. Do I just read the wording of section 155? Yes, I think I did. Okay. Back to 155 paragraph 1 again. The declaration of a fictitious intention with the connivance of the other party is void. Okay, so that the contract between A and B on this picture, it is just void. Okay. What about if B, after B has a car, simply because when the A pretended to deliver the car to B, while the car is with B, B later just sell this car to D. You have one more person involved here, D. Right. Remember, A and B, they just entered into sort of conspiracy. With connivance between A and B, a contract of sale of the car was made in order to deceive C. So in this case, section 155, paragraph 1 says that the juristic act in question, i.e. the contract of sale here, it is void as between A and B. It is just a fake sale or the fictitious sale. It is a fake sale, arising from a fictitious intention declared by A to B with the connivance of the parties, so that, the juristic act in question will become void. What happened, when the car is with B? B just sell the car to D, and in this case, it's a real sale. B has intention to sell the car to D. Right. And let's suppose that D know nothing about what's going on between A and B. Even though you know that the contract between A and B is void on account of a fictitious tension. When B sells this car to D later, okay, at the time when B sells the car to D, right, D know nothing about what's going on between A and B. B believes that, sorry, not B, D believes that the car is B's car. D believes that, you know, that B has real ownership in this car, so that, you know, D enter into contract with B for the sale, for the purchase of this car from B. Right. In this case, the law also realizes that even though the contract between A and B is void, but if D is involved here, after, you know, B has sold the car to D, and okay, on the facts, D has known nothing about the fictitious tension between A and B. In this case, when D acts in good faith, he is honest. He does not know anything about what's going on between A and B. And, okay, if the contract is declared by law to be, if, you know, the contract between A and B is void like this, if the law, okay, allows the voidness between A and B to affect D, D will be in trouble. D is in a way injured, you know, because D is injured because at least he needs to pay the price to B. D will have to lose money because D will have to pay the price to B. Right. So when D has the obligation to pay the price to B, right, that means that D is in a way injured. Okay, so these two facts. One is that D, the third party, D is a third party. He acts in good faith, and secondly, he is injured by the declaration of an intention, okay, between A and B. He can be injured, he is injured by the fictitious intention between A and B. In this case, when these two elements, 1 and 2, when these two elements are met, the elements regarding, you know, acting in good faith and the elements regarding being injured by, you know, the fictitious intention. Right. In this case, the law will protect a third party by not allowing the invalidity, okay, between A and B here to have effects on a third party. That's why if we go back to what is said in section 155 paragraph 1, we will see the later part of this section, okay, address this. But again, the one which I put in red ink, so if you read it, but may not be, okay, that means voidness, okay, the voidness may not be invoked as a defense against a third person who has acted in good faith and become injured, okay, by the declaration of such fictitious intention. So what is meant by the later part, you know, by the later part of section 155 paragraph 1 is just that. The invalidity of a juristic act between A and B, okay, cannot be invoked, okay, to have any effect on a third party who acts in good faith and who is injured by, you know, the declaration of the fictitious intention between A and B here, cannot have any effect on the third person. So D in this case will have to be protected by law. Right. So can C, if the car is now with D, because when D has purchased the car from B, can C enforce the debt out of the car? The answer is no, because the law protects D. Right. The car is considered to be, at this point, D's car, not is called anymore. Right. So again, if you analyze the reason, okay, you will understand this provision of law very, very well. Again, there are two elements, two conditions indeed, in order for the third party to be protected. Remember, the first one is that, right, the third party, okay, the third party acts in good faith. That means that he is honest. He does not know anything about what's going on between, the fictitious intention between the previous parties, A and B on this picture, okay? And secondly, he is injured. Injury on the part of the third party, it is one of the two elements or one of the two conditions in order for the third party to be afforded protection by law. Now, with respect to this second element, we have a very important, in fact, a very interesting question, okay? We have a remark on the element of injury. What happens? What about the protection by law? Should the law protect the third party if the third party only suffers just, the trivial injury? If the third party is merely trivially injured, what is the extent of the injury? If the injury is very large, then it's clear that the third party, and let's say that D in the example can be protected. But what happens if the injury suffered by D is very trivial? Let's suppose that we have some example. Okay, A pretend to sell the car to B. Right. In fact, in his mind, he never has intention to sell the car to B. He just declares his intention to sell the car to B just in order to deceive C's A's creditor that the car now it is no longer his own car but is B car because he has sold the car to B, and in this case B know very well what is in A's mind. B connives at the act. Okay, due to this connivance, the law does not protect A and B at all. Okay, the law realized this, and the law said that the intention as declared by A to B, it is fictitious, so that there is no reason to uphold this juristic act. So that this juristic act, the contract of sale between A and B, will have to be void according to section 155 paragraph 1. It's just a fake sale of the fictitious sale. Right. And let's suppose that after the car is with B, B just make the gift of this car to D. B does not sell the car to D, but B gives this car to D. B gives the car to D. Okay, so D had this car from B free of charge. Right. So in this case, we can see that D is not injured at all because when he does not pay anything, he does not pay the price to B because this is the gift. D will lose nothing. Okay. D in this case, D does not have anything to lose. He does not suffer any injury. But what happened? Let's suppose that D, he spends 5,000 baht on the replacement of the brake pads. Let's suppose that the brake pads seem to be worn out, and D spend this amount of money, 5,000 baht for the change of the brake pads. Can we say in this case that D is still injured even though the injury seems to be trivial? In this case, D is trivially injured. Will we interpret the law? Will we interpret section 155 paragraph 1 as protecting D? If we get back to 155 paragraph 1, see? The voidness, or the invalidity may not be invoked as a defense against a third person who first acts in good faith and secondly becomes injured by the declaration of such fictitious intention. Okay, we can just and there may be two views, two ways of interpretation. The first way of interpretation may be that the law does not say about the extent of injury. The law just say that the third party must be injured. The law doesn't say that the third party must be substantially injured or trivially injured. So injury may be substantial one or maybe just trivial one. And there is a good reason to interpret this way because the second part here, it is just an exception. Okay, I think that you have studied the introduction to law. You have been introduced the principles of the application of law. Right. Remember when we interpret the law, if the law provides something in general, if the law talks about general cases and the law provides for some exceptions, the exceptions must be interpreted very, very strictly, very, very narrowly. Okay, so the strict interpretation of an exception leads to the conclusion that in this case, the injury can be substantial or the injury can be even trivial, whether or not the third party suffers the substantial injury or just trivial injury. The third party will be protected by law alike if the third party has acted in good faith. Right. So in this case, even though D is trivially injured, he should have protection by law as well. Okay. But another way of interpretation is that it seems to be weird that the D can be protected. Even though he just suffers just trivial injury like this, he spent just 5,000 baht. Then the car will have to be considered as D's, and C cannot just enforce the debt out of this car because the car is now considered by law as D's car. Is that weird? Just because even D spent the amount of just 5,000 baht, D can be afforded protection by law. And this is another way of interpretation, but I think that the first interpretation seems to carry a lot of weight. The provision of law which addresses an exception must be it must be strictly interpreted. So we are bound to opt for, in fact, to opt for what? To opt for the strict interpretation of the exception. Okay. Now we will move on to consider the one more cases. Okay. One more case. The fictitious intention, which is aimed at concealing another juristic act. But I think that this will require about at least it requires about an hour to finish the explanation on this one. So let me defer our explanation of this to the next time lecture. Okay, so we will talk about the fictitious. We will talk about a fictitious intention aimed at concealing another juristic act next Monday. Thank you very much for your attention today. Okay, and as I have mentioned, this week it is the Chinese New Year week. So let me just present to you. Let me just extend to you the best wishes for the New Year, the Chinese New Year. This is the year of, as you can see, the ox this year. So may this Chinese New Year bring you happiness, peace, success, all the best in your life. So the have a very, very happy Chinese New Year, okay? And enjoy yourself. Until next week, thank you very much for your attention. Bye bye.